Aaron sat at the kitchen table with his laptop open in front of him. The screen showed order confirmations for birthday decorations, gifts, food, and a large chocolate cake with Eli's name written across the top. Bags filled with decorations covered the other chairs. A personalized chessboard sat unopened near the wall, surrounded by books, clothes, toys, and more than 30 wrapped presents Aaron had ordered during the night. Scott walked into the kitchen holding Aaron's phone. "Aaron, I checked your email," Scott said. "Herson sent an update. He's still fighting to make sure you have permanent full custody of Eli and Noah." Aaron looked away from the laptop. "I know, but right now I'm not focusing on Linda or court. Eli never had a normal childhood. This is his first birthday with us." Scott looked around the kitchen. There were enough decorations for 3 birthday parties. "Aaron, you ordered another 12 presents last night." "I did a lot for Noah when he came here," Aaron said. "Now I'm doing the same thing for Eli. I know I'm overdoing it, but I missed his first 8 birthdays." Scott placed the phone on the table. "You didn't choose to miss them." "I know that." "Do you?" Aaron stared at Eli's name on the cake order. "Linda used one of my discarded diapers after you and Rick helped me throw it away. That's how she got pregnant without telling me. I know none of that was my fault, but Eli was still out there. While I was fighting to protect Noah from her, I didn't even know I had another son who needed protection too." "You couldn't protect a child you didn't know existed." Aaron's voice cracked. "That doesn't make me feel better." Scott pulled out the chair beside him and sat down. "You gave Eli a home as soon as you learned the truth. You fought Marcus. You dealt with CPS, court, school, his medical needs, and everything else. You stayed beside him when he ran away, when he panicked at the pool, and when he blamed himself for what happened to Caleb. You're here now." "But I wasn't there then." "No, you weren't, because Linda made sure you couldn't be." Aaron wiped his eyes. "I keep thinking about him sitting somewhere on his birthday, waiting for somebody to remember. I keep thinking about him watching Marcus's kids open presents while he cleaned up their wrapping paper. I don't want him to ever feel forgotten again." "He won't." Aaron looked toward the hallway to make sure Eli was still in his room. "And now we found out Rebecca had been dead for 3 months," Aaron continued. "Nobody even told us. Eli asked whether she was coming to his birthday. I called her over and over and she was already gone. The police should have handled that better. Eli already thinks something bad happens every time his birthday comes up. Linda's boyfriend died around his birthday. Marcus used the day to let his kids hurt him more. Caleb went into foster care after Eli tried to help him. Now Rebecca is dead and we didn't even know. Aaron, none of those things happened because of Eli. I know that, but he doesn't believe it. Then buying the entire store isn't going to change his mind." Aaron looked at the mountain of gifts. "I just want him to have one good birthday." Then listen to what he asked for. He said he didn't want a huge party. He said he wanted to feel normal. Aaron's eyes filled with tears again. What does normal even mean for him? He's 9 years old, doing 10th grade work, teaching high school students and worrying about everybody else. He doesn't know how to let somebody take care of him. "Neither do you." Aaron gave Scott an annoyed look. "That isn't funny. I wasn't joking." Before Aaron could respond, they heard a quiet sound from the hallway. Eli stood near the kitchen entrance wearing his pajamas. His hair was messy, and he held his black comfort bag against his chest. "How long have you been standing there?" Aaron asked. "Long enough." Aaron quickly closed the laptop. "Eli, you weren't supposed to see any of this." "I didn't see the presents. I heard you talking about me." Scott stood. "I'll give you two some space." Eli shook his head. "You can stay, your family too." Scott stopped and leaned against the counter. Eli slowly walked into the kitchen. "Dad, I told you I don't need a big birthday." "I know. Then why does it look like a birthday store exploded in here?" Aaron looked around. "I might have got carried away." "Might have." Despite everything, Scott laughed softly. Aaron looked back at Eli. "I missed 8 years of your life. I can't get those years back." Eli tightened his grip on the black bag. "That wasn't your fault." "I know, but—" "No," Eli interrupted. "You keep telling me that Caleb going into foster care wasn't my fault because I didn't know what would happen. You didn't know I existed. How is this different?" Aaron opened his mouth but no words came out. Eli walked closer. You can't tell me not to blame myself and then blame yourself for the same thing. Scott looked at Aaron. He has a point. Aaron glared at him. You're not helping. I think I am. Eli placed his bag on the table. I don't want you to make up for 8 birthdays in one day. I just want this birthday to end without somebody getting hurt, dying, leaving, or telling me I ruined their life. Aaron's expression changed. Eli. And I don't want 100 people here looking at me. I want Noah, you, Rick, Scott, Grandma Kathleen, Grandpa Bob, Jackie, and Melissa. That's enough. What about Coach Tom? He can come for cake. Aaron nodded. Okay. And no surprise party. Okay. And you return most of those presents. Aaron glanced at the gifts. Most. Eli sighed. You already decided which ones you're keeping, didn't you? The chessboard is personalized, I can't return that. I knew it. Aaron reached for Eli's hand. I'm sorry I got scared. Because of my birthday. Because I want you to know that you matter. Eli looked down at their hands. You don't have to buy things to prove that. Aaron squeezed his hand. I'm still learning how to be your dad. And I'm still learning how to be somebody's kid. For a moment the kitchen was silent. Then Noah entered, rubbing his eyes. Why is everybody awake? He noticed the decorations and presents. His eyes widened. Did Dad buy the whole internet again? Eli looked at Aaron. See, even Noah knows you have a problem. Aaron shook his head. Both of you are getting on my nerves, and the day hasn't even started. Noah walked over and put an arm around Eli's shoulders. So, birthday boy, are we having a party or not? A small one. With chess. Obviously. Noah smiled. Then it'll be good. Eli looked around at his new family. He still appeared nervous, but for the first time that morning, he smiled too. Aaron watched the boys standing together. He couldn't recover the birthdays he had missed, and he couldn't erase everything Linda and Marcus had done. But he could give Eli something he had never been allowed to trust before. A family that would still be there when the birthday was over. A few hours later, the doorbell rang. Noah looked through the front window. Grandma Kathleen and Grandpa Bob are here. Aaron took a slow breath. Okay, everybody, please try to act normal. Scott looked at the decorations covering the living room. Aaron, there are balloons on the ceiling. I said try. Noah opened the door. Kathleen stepped inside carrying several gift bags, while Bob followed with a large box and a birthday card. Where's the birthday boy? Kathleen asked. Before Eli could answer, Noah held up his hand. Wait, there are 4 things Dad might not have told you yet. Aaron closed his eyes. Noah, please don't. Noah ignored him and began counting on his fingers. First, Linda faked her death. Kathleen froze. She did what? Second, Grandma Rebecca is actually dead. Bob nearly dropped the box. What? Third, Dad bought way too much stuff for Eli's birthday. Aaron opened his eyes. That is not as important as the first 2 things. And fourth, Noah continued, I'm trying to pretend the last 24 hours never happened. The room went completely silent. Kathleen slowly placed the bags on the floor. I think we need to sit down. That's what I said, Scott replied. Bob looked at Aaron. Linda is alive. Aaron nodded. She showed up outside Eli's bedroom window last night. Kathleen's face went pale. She came to the house. She said she wanted to wish him a happy birthday. I told her to get off the property. You should have called us. I didn't exactly have time. Rick saw a police officer outside, then we found out Rebecca had been dead for 3 months. After that, Linda appeared at the window. Bob stared at him. That is too much for one night. That's why I'm pretending it didn't happen, Noah said. Eli stood near the hallway holding his black bag. Kathleen noticed him and softened her voice. Eli, sweetheart, are you okay? Eli shrugged. I don't know. Kathleen walked toward him but stopped before getting too close. Would you like a hug? Eli hesitated before nodding. Kathleen gently wrapped her arms around him. I'm sorry this happened around your birthday. Eli rested his head against her shoulder. It always happens around my birthday. No, Kathleen said, bad things sometimes happen near your birthday, but they don't happen because of you. Eli did not answer. Bob placed the box on the table and walked over. Your grandma is right, none of this is your fault. Eli looked at him. Dad said the same thing. That's because your dad is occasionally correct. Aaron looked offended. Occasionally. Bob smiled. You bought half the store, Aaron. Why is everyone focused on that part? Noah pointed toward the presents. Because we can see it. Kathleen looked around. How many gifts did you buy? Aaron remained silent. Aaron's. Some. Scott answered for him. More than 30. Kathleen turned toward her son. 30. I missed 8 birthdays. Eli stepped away from Kathleen. We already talked about this, he has to return most of them. Bob nodded. That sounds reasonable. Aaron frowned. Why is everyone taking the 9-year-old's side? Because the 9-year-old is making more sense than you, Scott said. Rick entered from the hallway. What did I miss? Noah began counting on his fingers again. Linda is alive, Grandma Rebecca is dead, Dad has a shopping problem, and I'm mentally deleting yesterday. Rick nodded. Okay, so nothing new. Kathleen looked at Aaron. What are you doing about Linda? Herson is already working on it. The police know she was here and I saved the camera footage. Good. I'm not letting her ruin today. This is Eli's first birthday with us. Eli looked down. I still don't want a big party. It won't be big, Kathleen said. We're here because we love you, not because we expect you to perform for us. Bob handed Eli the birthday card. This is from both of us, you don't have to open the gift right now. Eli carefully opened the envelope. Inside, Kathleen and Bob had written a message. Eli read it silently. Then he read it again. Aaron watched him. What does it say? Eli's voice shook. It says, you never have to earn your place in this family. Kathleen nodded. You don't. Eli quickly wiped his eyes. I'm not crying. Noah sat beside him. You are, but nobody cares. Eli leaned against his brother. Thanks. Noah looked around at the family. So are we still having cake? Aaron stared at him. It isn't even noon. After the last 24 hours, I think we deserve breakfast cake. Bob raised his hand. I agree with Noah. Kathleen sighed. Of course you do. Aaron looked at Eli. What do you think, birthday boy? Eli looked at the cake, the presents, and the people gathered around him. For once, no one was yelling at him to clean. No one was blaming him for ruining the day. No one was forcing him to smile. He gave a small nod. Breakfast cake sounds normal enough. Aaron smiled. Then breakfast cake it is. Later that afternoon, the doorbell rang again. Noah looked toward the front door. That better not be another delivery for Dad. Aaron frowned. I returned some of the presents. Scott looked at the boxes still stacked near the wall. You returned 3. That still counts. Jackie and Melissa entered the house, followed by Will and Caleb. Will carried a small gift bag while Caleb held a chessboard under his arm. As soon as Caleb saw Eli, he grinned. Eli, it's time for you to get beaten by me again. Jackie laughed. Caleb, I think you're mistaken. Nobody can beat Eli at chess. Caleb placed the chessboard on the table. No, I'm not. I beat him twice before. Everyone turned toward Eli. Noah smiled. Yeah, but Eli studied after he lost. Eli glared at him. Noah, shut up. You were in your room studying for 5 hours, bro. I was not. You didn't come out for dinner. I wasn't hungry. You had 3 chess books open, 2 boards set up, and a video playing on your laptop. Eli crossed his arms. You talk too much. Caleb sat across from him. So you were scared I would beat you again? No. You studied for 5 hours. I like studying. Because you lost. Eli began arranging the pieces. Let's play before Linda comes. The room became quiet. Caleb stopped moving his pieces. Who's Linda? Eli's hands froze. No one, just play. Will looked at Aaron, but Aaron gave him a small shake of the head. Caleb continued watching Eli. You said she was coming. I didn't mean anything. Is she coming to the party? No. Then why did you say? Caleb, Jackie interrupted gently, let's focus on the game. Caleb looked confused but nodded. Okay. Eli finished arranging the pieces. You can play white. Caleb moved his first pawn. You're giving me the first move because you're scared. I'm giving you the first move so you can't make excuses when you lose. Noah sat beside the board. This is going to be good. Eli looked at him. You're not allowed to help. I wasn't going to. You always say that and then make noises when somebody makes a bad move. I can't control my reactions. Yes, you can. Caleb made another move. Eli stared at the board for several seconds before responding. Within minutes, the game became quiet and intense. Caleb leaned closer to the board, carefully studying every move. Eli remained calm, but his foot tapped rapidly beneath the table. Will stood near Aaron. Is everything okay? He asked quietly. Aaron glanced toward the window. We're trying to make it okay. Will nodded. I heard something happen last night. Too much happened last night. Across the room, Caleb captured one of Eli's bishops. Yes. Eli's eyes narrowed. Noah whispered he wanted you to take that. Caleb looked at him. What? Eli kicked Noah's chair. Stop talking. 2 moves later, Eli captured Caleb's queen. Caleb stared at the board. You tricked me. Eli shrugged. You took the bishop. Because you left it there. Exactly. Caleb leaned back. That was cheap. It was chess. Caleb looked at the remaining pieces. I can still win. You can try. Aaron watched Eli play, but he also noticed how often his son looked toward the window. Every small noise outside made Eli's shoulders tense. A car door closed down the street. Eli immediately turned his head. Caleb moved a rook. Your turn. Eli continued looking toward the window. Eli, Aaron said softly. I'm fine. Another car passed. Eli quickly made a move without properly checking the board. Caleb smiled. You made a mistake. Eli looked down. For the first time in the game, his confidence disappeared. Caleb moved his rook and captured Eli's queen. Yes, I got you. Noah stared. Eli, what was that? Eli pushed his chair backward. I don't want to play anymore. Caleb's smile faded. But the game isn't finished. I said I'm done. Eli stood and grabbed his black bag. Aaron moved his wheelchair closer. Eli, come here. I'm fine. You've said that 5 times today. I just don't want to play. Caleb looked worried. Are you mad because I took your queen? No. Then what did I do? Nothing. Caleb lowered his head. I was only joking about beating you. Eli looked at him and saw the guilt on his face. This isn't about you. Then what is it about? Eli looked toward the window again. Aaron reached for his hand. He's worried somebody might show up. Caleb looked around. Who? Eli's voice dropped to a whisper. Linda. The person you said was no one. Eli nodded. Caleb looked toward the window. Is she dangerous? Aaron answered before Eli could. She isn't allowed near this house or this family. Then why would she come? Because sometimes people don't respect rules. Caleb moved his chair closer to Eli. Do you want me to leave? Eli shook his head. No. Do you want to finish the game? I can't focus. Caleb began returning the pieces to their starting positions. Then we can play later. Eli looked surprised. You don't care that you were winning. I wasn't winning, you were distracted. Noah smiled. So you admit Eli is better. Caleb pointed at him. Stay out of this. Eli gave a small laugh. Caleb held out his hand. When you're ready, we start over, no counting this game. Eli shook it. Fine. Caleb grinned. But the 2 games I beat you before still count. Eli rolled his eyes. For now. Then someone knocked on the front window. Eli's smile vanished. The entire room became silent. Linda slammed her hand against the glass. Aaron Smith, give me my fucking kids. Eli froze beside the chess table. Caleb jumped out of his chair. Will grabbed his son's hand. Caleb, let's go now. Caleb looked toward Eli. But. Now Caleb. Aaron moved his wheelchair away from the window. Will is right, Jackie, take them through the back door. Will picked up Caleb's coat while Melissa checked the hallway leading toward the kitchen. Aaron turned toward his sons. Noah, take Eli into my room, you two stay there. Noah nodded. You know the drill, Aaron continued. Lock the door, stay away from the windows, don't come out unless Scott, Rick, or I give you the code word. Big Bird, Noah said. Correct. Eli did not move. Linda struck the window again. Eli, Noah, mommy is here. Eli covered his ears. She's not my mom. Aaron held out his hand. Eli, look at me. Eli stared at him. You are not going outside, she is not taking you anywhere, go with Noah. Noah grabbed Eli's black bag and placed his free hand on his brother's shoulder. Come on. Eli shook his head. What if she hurts Dad? She won't, Scott said as he pulled the curtains closed. Rick and I are staying with him. What if? Eli, Aaron interrupted, I need you to listen to me right now. Protecting you is my job, your job is to go into my room with your brother. Linda kicked the front door. Aaron, open this door. Eli began crying. I don't want to leave you. You aren't leaving me, you're going 20 feet away. Noah gently pulled him toward the hallway. Come on, little brother, Dad's disabled, not a pushover, remember. Aaron glanced at Noah. Not the time, but thank you. Noah took Eli down the hallway. As they entered the bedroom, Linda shouted again. Noah, don't listen to him, I'm your mother. Noah stopped and looked back. Aaron shook his head. Keep going. Noah guided Eli into the bedroom and locked the door. Inside, Eli immediately moved toward the window. Noah grabbed his arm. Dad said stay away from it. I need to see what's happening. No, you don't. What if she gets inside? She won't. You don't know that. Noah pulled the curtains closed. Scott and Rick are out there, Jackie called the police. Dad has the camera footage and Linda is violating the restraining order again. Eli sat on the edge of Aaron's bed. She said we were her kids. Noah sat beside him. She says a lot of things. She gave birth to us. That doesn't make her our mom. Eli squeezed the black bag against his chest. Outside the bedroom, Aaron heard Will and Caleb leaving through the back door. Caleb's voice carried through the kitchen. Is Eli going to be okay? Will answered softly. They're taking care of him, we need to go. Jackie locked the back door once they were gone. Melissa stood near the hallway. I called 911, they're sending officers. Linda hit the front door again. Aaron, you stole Noah from me, then you stole Eli. Aaron moved closer to the door but remained several feet away. I didn't steal anyone, you abandoned Noah, hid Eli from me and abused both of them. I raised Eli. You used him. I fed him, I clothed him. You kept him in dirty pull-ups and made him clean up after everyone else. Linda screamed. He was lazy. Aaron's expression hardened. He was a child. He is my child. No, Aaron said, he's my son. Rick looked through the security camera feed on his phone. She's trying to go around the side of the house. Scott moved toward the hallway. I'll check the back. No, Aaron said, nobody goes outside, keep every door locked. Linda walked around the house and began pounding on Aaron's bedroom window. Eli screamed and fell backward onto the bed. Noah wrapped both arms around him. Don't look. Linda pressed her face against the glass. Eli opened the window. Eli sobbed. Go away. I came to see you for your birthday. I don't want you here. I'm your mother. You're not my mom. Linda hit the window with her fist. Aaron made you say that. No, he did. Noah stood between Eli and the window. Get away from our house. Linda stared through the glass. Noah, baby, open the window for mommy. Noah's face tightened. Don't call yourself that. You used to ask for me. I was 8, I didn't know what you did to Dad or Eli. Linda continued pounding. Aaron heard the boys yelling from the bedroom. Scott, get me to my room. Scott moved behind Aaron's wheelchair. It isn't safe near the window. My sons are in there. Rick checked the security feed. The police are turning onto the street. Aaron raised his voice. Noah, Eli, stay away from the window, the police are here. Red and blue lights flashed across the walls. Linda stepped away from the window. An officer shouted from the yard. "Ma'am, show me your hands." Linda ran toward the side gate. A second officer blocked her path. "Stop, do not move." Linda screamed. "This is a family matter. You are violating a restraining order. Put your hands behind your back." "They are my children." The officer grabbed her arm as she tried to pull away. "Aaron kidnapped them." The first officer placed her in handcuffs. "You can explain that at the station." Inside the bedroom, Eli remained curled against Noah. "Is she gone?" Noah listened to the voices outside. "I think the police got her." A knock sounded on the bedroom door. Both boys became silent. Then Aaron spoke from the hallway. "Big Bird." Noah unlocked the door. Aaron entered first, followed by Scott. Eli climbed off the bed and ran toward him. Aaron caught him against his chest. "She came back," Eli cried. "I know. She said I was hers." "You don't belong to anyone," Aaron said. "You are my son, but you are still your own person." Noah sat on the edge of the bed. "She tried to get us to open the window." Aaron looked at him. "You didn't." "No. You followed the plan and kept your brother safe." Noah looked down. "I was scared." "You can be scared and still do the right thing." Eli lifted his head. "Is she coming back?" "The police arrested her. Herson will handle what happens next." "But she faked being dead before." "I know." "What if she escapes?" Aaron held him tighter. "Then we handle it again. Every time she comes back, we protect you." Eli's face crumpled. "I knew something bad would happen on my birthday." Aaron shook his head. "This didn't happen because it's your birthday. It always does." "No, Linda made a choice to come here. That choice belongs to her, not you." Noah moved closer and placed a hand on Eli's back. "And the day isn't over yet." Eli looked at him. "What does that mean?" "It means Caleb still thinks he can beat you in chess." Despite the tears on his face, Eli laughed softly. Aaron kissed the top of his head. "Your birthday does not belong to Linda. She doesn't get to take this day from you." Aaron's phone rang while he was still holding Eli. Scott looked at the screen. "It's Herson." Aaron took the phone. "Hello." "Aaron, before I tell you this, I need to confirm something. You have a physical disability, correct?" Aaron frowned. "Yes, spinal muscular atrophy type 2, you already know that, why?" Herson paused. "Linda filed an emergency petition asking for full custody of both boys." Aaron's grip tightened around the phone. "She was just arrested outside my house." "I know, I already received the police report." "Then how can she ask for custody?" "She can file anything she wants. That doesn't mean the judge will approve it." Aaron looked toward Noah and Eli. "What is she saying?" Herson exhaled. "She is claiming that you have Munchausen syndrome." Aaron stared at the wall. "What?" "She says you exaggerate or invent medical and emotional problems involving Noah and Eli because you want attention and sympathy." Aaron's face turned red. "She abused them and now she's saying I made it up." "There's more." "Of course there is. She claims you're raising the boys so they can become your caregivers when they're older." Aaron became silent. Herson continued. "Linda says Scott and Rick are eventually going to get tired of taking care of you. She claims they'll kick all three of you out and then you'll force Noah and Eli to handle your personal care." Aaron's breathing changed. Scott noticed immediately. Aaron slowed down. Aaron ignored him. "She said what?" "My kids aren't wiping my fat ass now, and they're not going to wipe it when they're older." Noah covered his mouth, trying not to laugh. Eli stared at Aaron. "Dad, nobody said you were fat." "That is not the point." Rick leaned against the doorway. "I was going to say something supportive, but I don't think I can follow that sentence." Scott shook his head. Aaron calmed down. "No, Linda wants to make it sound like I adopted two future caregivers. My sons are children, they have school, chess, friends, and their own lives. They are not here to take care of me." Noah raised his hand. "I already said I wasn't doing it." "I know, Noah. And I said I would call Rick." Rick frowned. "Again, why am I still working at 80? "Because Dad trusts you." That was almost sweet. Eli walked closer. "Dad, we know you don't want us doing your care." "How?" Because when I tried to pick up your medication bottle yesterday, you told me not to touch it and called Scott. That was different. No, it was. You always ask an adult. Scott nodded. You've been very clear about that. Aaron rubbed his face. I shouldn't even have to prove this. You shouldn't, Scott said. Herson will prove it in court anyway. Aaron looked toward the bedroom where Linda had appeared. She abandoned Noah, she hid Eli from me, she let people hurt both of them, now she wants to use my disability to say I'm the dangerous parent. Noah stepped in front of Aaron. She can say whatever she wants, it doesn't make it true. Eli nodded. If the judge asks me, I'll tell them you don't let me take care of you. Aaron's expression softened. You shouldn't have to speak in court on your birthday. I don't want to, but I will if it means I don't have to go with her. You're not going with her. Aaron pulled both boys closer. I don't care how many lies she files, I am fighting for both of you. Noah leaned against one side of him, while Eli leaned against the other. Rick looked at Scott. They're going to break his chair. Aaron rolled his eyes. My chair can handle my kids. Scott smiled. Good, because those are the only two people in this house you're allowed to carry emotionally. Aaron looked down at Noah and Eli. My sons are not my caregivers, I am their father, taking care of them is my job. Eli rested his head against Aaron's shoulder. Then your first job is returning the rest of those presents. Aaron sighed. We were having a serious moment. And you still bought too much stuff. Noah nodded. He's right. Aaron looked between both boys. Neither one of you is too old to be sent to your rooms. Eli smiled. See, he doesn't want caregivers, he wants children he can ground. Scott laughed. That might be the best argument Herson has. At the next custody hearing, the judge looked down at the documents in front of him. I have reviewed the reports, recordings, and statements submitted by both sides, he said. At this time, it appears that Aaron Smith and his caregivers may have influenced these children to fear their mother. Aaron stared at the judge in disbelief. The judge continued. Mr. Smith, you prevented Linda from seeing her first child. When she attempted contact, you arrived with your attorney and caregivers surrounding you. Herson stood. Your Honor, that is not an accurate description of what happened. The judge slammed his gavel. I am not finished. Herson slowly sat. The judge looked directly at Aaron. Mr. Smith, were you aware that the two men providing your care are not legally permitted to be around children? Aaron's face went blank. What? The courtroom became silent. The judge lifted a file. Scott was previously accused of using children for his own needs. Rick was charged in connection with similar conduct. Aaron slowly turned his wheelchair toward them. Scott and Rick sat behind him, both staring at the floor. Aaron's voice shook. Is that true? Neither answered. Scott. Scott closed his eyes. Answer me, Aaron yelled. Scott finally looked up. Yes. Aaron stopped breathing for a moment. Rick remained silent. Aaron turned toward him. And you? Rick nodded. Yes. Aaron's hands began trembling against the arms of his wheelchair. You told me I could trust you. Aaron, it isn't what it sounds like, Scott said. You were around my sons. We never touched Noah or Eli. That is not an answer. Aaron. You helped dress them, you watched them sleep, you were in the house when they needed changes. Herson placed a hand near Aaron's shoulder. Aaron, let me handle this. Aaron pulled away. No, I let them near my kids. Noah sat across the courtroom beside Eli and the child advocate. Both boys looked terrified. Eli began shaking his head. Dad, don't leave us. Aaron looked toward him, tears falling. I'm not leaving you. The judge raised his voice. Mr. Smith, control yourself. Aaron turned back toward the bench. Your Honor, I need help. The judge paused. Aaron struggled to speak through his breathing. I live in their house, they handle my care, I can't safely live alone. Scott leaned forward. Aaron, please listen to us. Aaron did not look at him. Your Honor, find me a group home, an assisted living facility, anything. I need somewhere safe as soon as possible. Herson looked at him. Aaron, we can arrange emergency housing without making permanent decisions today. Do it. Aaron looked toward Noah and Eli. and put my sons somewhere safe until I have a home where they can stay with me. Noah stood abruptly. No, we're not going into foster care. The child advocate gently took his arm. Noah, sit down. I'm not leaving my dad. Eli started sobbing. I just got out of foster care. Aaron turned his wheelchair toward them. Boys, listen to me. No, Noah shouted, you said we were staying together. I meant it. Then why are you giving us away? I'm not giving you away, I am trying to protect you. Eli covered his face. You said this was my home. It is. No, it's their house. That sentence struck Aaron harder than anything else. He looked back at Scott and Rick. I trusted you with everything. Rick finally spoke. We should have told you. You think. We were afraid you would leave. I would have left. Aaron's entire body shook. You let me believe my children were safe. They were safe with us, Scott insisted. You don't get to decide that after hiding something like this. The judge struck the gavel again. Enough. The courtroom went silent. The judge addressed Herson. Can emergency housing be arranged for Mr. Smith today? Yes, Your Honor, I can contact his case manager and Adult Protective Services immediately. And the children? I request that they remain with their father under temporary professional supervision. Removing them from him would cause further trauma, especially given Eli's recent foster placement. Linda's attorney stood. Linda is their mother and is available to take both children. Noah immediately yelled. No. Eli curled into himself. Aaron moved his wheelchair in front of the boys as much as the courtroom allowed. They are afraid of her because of what she did, not because I told them to be. The judge studied Noah and Eli. No child will be transferred to Linda today. The court will order an emergency independent evaluation. Linda stood. They belong with me. The bailiff moved closer. The judge pointed his gavel toward her. Sit down, Ms. Orr, or you will be removed. Linda sat glaring at Aaron. The judge continued. Mr. Smith will be moved to temporary accessible housing. Noah and Eli may remain with him if round-the-clock approved support can be arranged. Scott and Rick are prohibited from contact with the children until this court reviews the complete records. Aaron closed his eyes. Herson leaned toward him. That means we can keep you together. Aaron looked at his sons. Noah was crying openly. Eli held tightly to his hand. I'm sorry, Aaron whispered. Noah shook his head. This isn't your fault. I brought you into their house. You didn't know. Eli wiped his face. You told me I can't blame myself for things people hide from me. Aaron reached for both boys. I don't know what happens next. Noah stepped closer. We go somewhere else. Eli nodded. Together. Aaron pulled them against his chest. Yes, together. Behind them Scott stood. Aaron, please let us explain. Aaron did not turn around. No. Aaron. I said no. His voice was quieter but firmer. You will never be alone with my children again. Scott lowered his head. Rick began crying, but Aaron refused to look at either of them. Herson gathered the documents. I'm going to make the calls. Aaron nodded. Find us somewhere tonight. Aaron sat in the courthouse hallway with Noah and Eli beside his wheelchair. Herson was speaking with a court-appointed caseworker a few feet away. Aaron looked at his sons. Go play over there for a few minutes, stay where I can see you. Noah took Eli's hand. Come on. Eli hesitated. You're not leaving, right? No, I'm calling Grandma Kathleen and Grandpa Bob. Eli nodded and followed Noah toward a small children's area. Aaron called his father. Bob answered after the second ring. Hi, son. Aaron tried to speak, but his voice caught. Dad, can me and the boys stay with you and Mom? Bob immediately heard the fear in his voice. What happened? I just found out Scott and Rick aren't allowed to be around children. There was a long silence. What do you mean? The judge said Scott had been accused of using children for his own needs and Rick was charged with something similar. They admitted they knew about it. Bob's voice changed. They were around Noah and Eli. Yes. Did they hurt them? I don't know. Aaron looked toward his sons. They said they never touched them, but I don't care why they were charged. I don't care what explanation they have. They hid it from me. I need my kids to be safe. Of course you can stay with us, you never had to ask. Aaron closed his eyes. Dad, I need more than a room. I need help with my care. I need somebody who can help transfer me, change me, shower me, and handle my medication. The boys can't do any of that. We'll figure it out. What if you and Mom can't manage it? Then we'll hire approved caregivers. We'll call your insurance, your case manager, whoever we need to call. You and those boys are not going into some random place tonight. Aaron wiped his face. What if Scott and Rick had told me sooner? Bob paused. What? What if they told me before Noah moved in? What if they told me when Eli came here? Would it have changed anything? It should have. I would have done this sooner. You would have left. Yes, I would have taken my kids and found somewhere else. I wouldn't have cared how much I trusted them or how much they helped me. Then this is on them, not you. I let them help with the boys. Because you didn't know. I should have checked. Aaron, they were your caregivers and friends, they should have told you. Aaron looked toward Noah and Eli again. Scott helped Noah get ready for school, Rick helped Eli after accidents, they stayed in the house while the boys slept. His breathing became faster. Dad, what if something happened and they were too scared to tell me? Don't question the boys by yourself, let a trained professional speak with them. You don't want to frighten them or make them feel like they have to give you an answer. I know. We'll make sure they get evaluated. Right now, you need to get them somewhere safe. Aaron nodded even though Bob could not see him. The judge said they can stay with me if I have approved round-the-clock support. Then give Herson our address, your mother and I will come get all three of you. Dad, the house needs to be accessible. We still have the ramp from your last visit, and the downstairs guest room is empty. The bathroom isn't fully accessible. We'll make it work tonight and get equipment tomorrow. Aaron began crying. I can't believe I have to ask you this. You're my son. I'm almost 40. And you're still my son. Aaron covered his mouth as a sob escaped. Bob continued gently. You protected your children the moment you learned there might be a danger. That is what a father is supposed to do. I told the judge to put them somewhere safe, even if it wasn't with me. I know why you said it. Noah thought I was giving them away. You were. I promised Eli he would never go back into foster care. And he won't. You, Noah, and Eli are coming home with us. Aaron looked up as Herson approached. Herson is coming back, I have to go. Put him on the phone if he needs anything. Okay. And Aaron. Yes. Do not go back to Scott and Rick's house alone. I won't. Aaron ended the call. Herson stopped beside him. What did Bob say? He said we can stay with my parents, they have a downstairs room and a ramp. He said they'll help arrange approved caregivers. That is likely the best temporary option. I'll give the address to the court. Aaron looked toward the play area. Can my parents legally take us today? If the judge approves the safety plan, yes. Your parents will need background checks and any hired caregiver must be cleared before being around the boys. Do everything. I will. Aaron called Noah and Eli over. What did Grandpa say? Noah asked. We're going to stay with Grandma Kathleen and Grandpa Bob. For how long? Eli asked. I don't know yet. Are Scott and Rick coming? Aaron's expression tightened. No, they are not allowed near either of you. Eli looked down. Did they hurt us? Aaron's heart nearly stopped. I don't know, a trained person is going to talk to both of you. You won't be in trouble no matter what you say. Noah crossed his arms. They didn't do anything to me. Aaron nodded. Okay. Eli remained silent. Aaron noticed but did not question him. You don't have to talk about anything right now, we're going somewhere safe. Eli stepped closer. Grandma and Grandpa's house. Yes. Will you be there? The entire time. And who's going to help you? Grandma, Grandpa, and professional caregivers. Noah looked directly at Aaron. Not us. Never you, you are my children, not my caregivers. Noah nodded. Eli wrapped his arms around Aaron. I'm sorry you lost your friends. Aaron held him. I'm sorry you lost people you thought you could trust. After Herson confirmed the temporary plan, Aaron called Jackie and Melissa. Jackie answered first. Hey Aaron, is everything okay? No, I need you and Melissa to meet me at my parents' house. This is important. Jackie became quiet. Why aren't we meeting at Scott and Rick? Aaron looked toward the boys. That's why we need to talk. What happened? I don't want to explain it over the phone. Aaron, you're scaring me. I'm scared too. Are the boys safe? They're with me, my parents are coming to get us. Did Linda do something again? This isn't about Linda. That answer made Jackie even more concerned. Then what is it about? Scott and Rick. There was a pause. What did they do? I just found out they aren't allowed to be around children. Jackie did not respond. Jackie. I'm here. I need both of you to come to my parents' house. Do not call Scott or Rick. Do not tell them where we're going. Okay. And bring anything you have involving the boys' schedules, care notes, school pickups, or times Scott and Rick were alone with them. Jackie's voice began shaking. Aaron, are you saying they hurt Noah or Eli? I don't know. The judge brought up records in court. Scott and Rick admitted they knew about them and never told me. Oh my God. I need to know everything you and Melissa saw, even if it seemed small at the time. I'll call Melissa now. Meet us at my parents' house. We will. When Aaron, Noah, and Eli arrived at Kathleen and Bob's house, Jackie's van was already parked in the driveway. Jackie and Melissa stood beside it, both looking exhausted. Aaron rolled down the ramp from his parents' van. You got here fast. Jackie nodded toward her van. Your stuff and the kids' stuff are inside. Clothes, medicine, school bags, Eli's black bag, Noah's chest things, and as many medical supplies as we could fit. Aaron looked at her. You went back to Scott and Rick's house. Only for a few minutes, they weren't there. Melissa crossed her arms. We didn't go inside alone. Herson arranged for an officer to meet us. Aaron released a breath. Thank you. Jackie handed him a small envelope. I left the house key in their mailbox. Aaron stared at it. What's this? The key to my van. We left everything packed because we didn't know where your parents wanted it. Aaron looked toward the van. You packed all of that for us. Melissa nodded. We grabbed what you would need for at least a week. Noah stepped closer to the back doors. Did you get my laptop? Yes, Melissa said, but you're still grounded. Noah sighed. Of course, everybody remembers that. Aaron pointed at him. 21 days. This has been the longest month of my life. Eli stood close to Kathleen. Did you get my chess books? Jackie nodded. All 6 of them. I only have 5. You have 6 now, one was still in a delivery box. Everyone turned toward Aaron. He looked away. It was ordered before the present limit. Eli shook his head. You have a problem. Aaron ignored him. Did you see Scott or Rick? No, but Scott called while we were packing. Aaron's expression hardened. What did he say? He asked where you and the boys were. You didn't tell him. No. What else? Jackie hesitated. He said the judge made everything sound worse than it was. He said there was an explanation. Aaron laughed bitterly. Of course there is. Melissa stepped closer. We told him not to contact us again until Herson says it's safe. Good. Jackie looked at Noah and Eli. Can they go inside with Kathleen for a few minutes? We need to talk to you. Aaron looked at the boys. Go inside with Grandma and Grandpa. Noah frowned. Why can't we hear? Because this is an adult conversation. Is it about us? It's about keeping you safe. Eli tightened his grip on Kathleen's hand. You're not leaving. No, I'm staying right here. Kathleen guided both boys toward the house. Come on, you can help Grandpa decide where all these boxes are going. Bob opened the door. I already decided, anywhere your grandmother tells me. Kathleen gave him a look. At least you've learned something after all these years. Once the boys were inside, Aaron turned back to Jackie and Melissa. Tell me everything. Jackie sat on the edge of the van. We never saw either one of them touch the boys inappropriately. Melissa nodded. I want to make that clear first. Aaron's shoulders lowered slightly, but his expression remained tense. Were they ever alone with them? Jackie and Melissa exchanged a look. Yes, Jackie admitted. There were times when we left after your evening care was finished and Scott or Rick stayed with the boys. How many times? I don't know exactly. Aaron's voice rose. You kept schedules. We did, Melissa said. They're in the van. Herson asked us not to guess until everything is reviewed. Aaron rubbed his face. Did you notice anything strange? Jackie looked toward the house. Sometimes Eli didn't want Rick helping him after an accident. Aaron's face went pale. What? He usually asked for you, me, Melissa, or Scott, but Eli gets embarrassed about anyone helping him. We thought it was because Rick joked too much. What kind of jokes? Nothing sexual, mostly telling him he had to stop drinking water before bed or calling him Little Professor when he got upset. Aaron looked furious. Why didn't you tell me? We told Rick to stop. That is not the same as telling me. You were already overwhelmed with Court, Linda, Caleb, and Eli's birthday. That was not your decision to make. You're right, Jackie said quietly. Aaron looked at Melissa. What about Noah? Nothing stood out. Noah spoke openly around us. He never seemed afraid of Scott or Rick. Aaron looked toward the window. Noah stood inside watching them. What about Scott? Jackie hesitated again. Scott was very protective of you. I know that. Sometimes too protective. What does that mean? He controlled who helped with your care. He would get angry if another caregiver suggested doing something differently. Aaron stared at her. You think he was controlling me? I think he wanted you dependent on him. The words hit Aaron hard. I thought he was protecting me. Melissa crouched in front of him. Maybe he believed he was, but hiding something this serious took away your ability to make decisions for yourself and your children. Aaron's voice cracked. Linda did the same thing. Neither woman responded. She controlled my care, my money, and who I talked to. Scott knew that. He knew what she did to me. Jackie placed a hand on his arm. You left as soon as you learned the truth. I should have seen it. No, they were responsible for telling you. Aaron looked at both women. I need you checked too. Jackie nodded immediately. Do it. Background checks, records, everything. Whatever you need. I don't mean to accuse you. You should check, Melissa said. After today, you should check everyone. Aaron looked toward the van. You really brought everything. Most of it, the hospital bed and lift, are still at the house. Herson is arranging a company to move them. How am I supposed to get into bed tonight? Bob opened the front door. We rented a portable lift. Aaron turned toward him. You already did that. Your mother made 3 calls while we were driving. Kathleen appeared behind him. And an approved overnight nurse is coming at 7. Aaron stared at his parents. How did you arrange all of this so fast? Kathleen walked outside and kissed his forehead. Because you called and said you needed us. Aaron began crying. I'm sorry. For what? For bringing all of this here. You brought our son and our grandsons home, Bob said. Everything else is equipment and boxes. Noah opened the door wider. Can we come out now? Yes. Noah and Eli hurried outside. Eli looked inside the van. My black bag is really in there. Jackie handed it to him. Eli immediately held it against his chest. Thank you. Noah spotted his chest clock. You brought this too. Melissa nodded. Eli said it was important to you. Noah glanced at his brother. You told them to get it. Eli shrugged. You complain when you don't have it. Aaron watched as the boys began helping Bob carry smaller bags into the house. Jackie held out another envelope. This is a list of everything we took. The officer signed it, so Scott and Rick can't claim anything was stolen. Aaron accepted it. I don't want anything else from that house unless Herson approves it. What about the rest of your clothes? Donate them. Aaron, some of your medical equipment is expensive. Then get the equipment, but I'm never going back there. Jackie nodded. You don't have to. Aaron looked at the key she had removed from his key ring. You left my house key in their mailbox. Yes. It wasn't my house. Jackie looked at him. It was your home. Aaron watched Noah and Eli disappear through his parents' door. No, my home is wherever my kids are safe. Jackie remained beside the open van, staring down at the driveway. There is something else I remember. Aaron's expression changed. What? One night after you went to sleep, Eli had an accident. Eli stood near the front door with his black bag against his chest. Noah was beside him, listening. Scott helped Eli get cleaned up, Jackie continued. Then he told him to sit on the toilet and try to go. Aaron frowned. That doesn't sound unusual. It was the way he spoke to him. What did he say? Jackie hesitated. He told Eli, your dad is disabled, you're not. Stop crying all the time, you're too old to keep going on yourself and you're too old to cry about it. Aaron's face hardened. Eli looked down. Aaron turned toward Jackie. Why did you never tell me? I thought it only happened that one time. That doesn't answer my question. I didn't think Scott was trying to hurt him, I thought he was frustrated and handled it badly. He shouldn't have spoken to my child like that at all. You're right. No, Jackie, Eli was abused over this before he came to me. Linda and Marcus called him lazy. They left him wet and dirty. Scott knew that. Jackie wiped her eyes. I know. He knew Eli hated needing help. He knew Eli already believed something was wrong with him. I should have told you. Yes, you should have. Eli quietly turned toward the house. Aaron noticed. Eli, come here. I'm fine. No, you're not. Eli stopped but did not turn around. Aaron rolled closer. Did Scott speak to you like that more than once? Eli shrugged. Aaron softened his voice. You're not in trouble, you don't have to protect him. Eli stared at his black bag. He said Dad already needed too much help. Aaron's breath caught. What else did he say? He said I was making everything harder for everybody. Jackie covered her mouth. Aaron looked at her. You said it only happened once. That is the only time I heard it. Aaron turned back to Eli. How many times did Scott say things like that to you? I don't know. Was it a lot? Eli nodded slightly. Noah stepped closer. Why didn't you tell us? Eli's eyes filled with tears. Because Scott helped Dad. Aaron shook his head. That didn't give him permission to hurt you. He said if I kept having accidents, Dad would get tired because you already needed diapers and help. Aaron's voice broke. I would never get tired of taking care of you. I thought you might. No. Aaron held out his hand. Eli slowly walked toward him and took it. You never have to be ashamed of needing help, Aaron said. Not for an accident, not for crying, and not for anything else. Eli wiped his face. He said boys my age don't cry. Scott was wrong. He said Noah didn't have accidents. Noah and you are different people. Noah placed a hand on Eli's shoulder. And I cry too, I just try to hide it because I think I look ugly. Eli looked at him. You do. Noah stared. I was trying to help. A small smile appeared on Eli's face before disappearing. Aaron looked back at Jackie. Did Rick know Scott was talking to him like this? I don't know. Did Melissa? Not that I'm aware of. Aaron shook his head. You all kept deciding what I could handle. You thought I was too overwhelmed, so you didn't tell me what was happening inside my own house. Jackie lowered her head. That wasn't fair to you. It wasn't fair to Eli. I know. Aaron's voice rose. He was supposed to be safe there. I was supposed to be able to go to sleep without worrying that someone would shame my son for having the same kind of medical needs I have. Kathleen stepped outside after hearing the raised voices. What happened? Scott was shamming Eli about his accidents while I was asleep. Kathleen's expression turned cold. He did what? Eli moved closer to Aaron. It's okay, Grandma. No, Aaron said, it isn't okay. Eli looked startled by his firmness. You don't have to make something smaller because you're worried about how adults will react. I didn't want Dad to lose his helpers. Aaron closed his eyes. I would rather lose every caregiver I have than let somebody treat you that way. But you need help. That is my responsibility, not yours. Bub walked out. What's going on? Kathleen quietly explained. Bob looked at Jackie. You heard someone speak to our grandson like that and didn't tell Aaron. I made a mistake. A serious one. I know. Aaron looked toward Noah. Did Scott or Rick ever speak to you like that? Noah hesitated. Scott said Eli was acting like a baby sometimes. Aaron tightened his jaw. When? After the pool thing, he said Eli was too smart to act that way. Eli stepped away from Noah. You heard him. Noah nodded. Why didn't you tell Dad? I thought Dad heard him too. I didn't, Aaron said. Noah lowered his head. I'm sorry. You are not responsible for reporting everything adults say. That responsibility belonged to the adults. Jackie nodded tearfully. He's right, this is on us. Aaron looked at both boys. Being smart does not mean you can't be scared, being 9 does not mean you can't cry, and being able to use the toilet sometimes does not mean accidents are your fault. Eli leaned against his wheelchair. Are you mad at me? Aaron looked horrified. No, why would I be mad at you? Because I didn't tell you. Aaron wrapped his arm around him. I'm mad that you believed you had to hide it. Eli began sobbing against his chest. I thought Scott would stop helping you if I told. Then I would have found somebody else. What if nobody wanted to help? My disability does not mean we have to accept abuse from people. Kathleen crouched beside them. And your grandparents are here now. Bob nodded. We'll find qualified caregivers who understand that both Aaron and the boys deserve respect. Aaron looked at Jackie. I need you to tell Herson exactly what you told me. I will. Don't soften it, tell him the exact words. I will. And write down everything else you remember. Jackie nodded. I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm not the person who needs your apology. Jackie walked closer to Eli but kept enough distance not to overwhelm him. I'm sorry, Eli, I should have told your dad what I heard. Eli wiped his eyes. Okay. You don't have to forgive me right now. I know. Aaron kissed the top of Eli's head. No one is ever going to speak to you like that again. Eli looked up. What if they do? Then you tell me. And if they help you? I will still protect you. And if you have nowhere else to go? Aaron looked toward his parents' house. Then we find somewhere together. Noah moved to his other side. We already did. Yes, we did. Jackie wiped her eyes. So am I fired? Aaron was quiet for a moment. No. Jackie looked surprised. No. No, but listen carefully. The next time anyone treats one of my kids the way Scott did, you tell me immediately. I will. I don't care who it is. It could be a new caregiver, a teacher, Melissa, you, or even my parents. I know my parents wouldn't do that, but the rule is the same for everybody. Kathleen nodded. That is exactly how it should be. Aaron looked directly at Jackie. You don't get to decide that I'm too stressed to know what is happening with my own children. You don't get to wait and see whether it happens again. You're right. If you hear somebody shame Eli for an accident, scare Noah, insult them, threaten them, or say anything that makes them uncomfortable, you step in. I will. And if you stand there and do nothing again, then yes, I will fire you. Jackie lowered her head. I understand. That is the main reason I hired nannies for my kids. You aren't only there to drive them places or make food, you are there to protect them when I'm not in the room. Melissa stepped closer. You hired us because there are things you physically can't always reach or see. Exactly, my disability means I need more adults around my children, not adults who hide things from me. Melissa nodded. You have my word, if I see or hear anything, I'll tell you immediately. And I need more than promises now. What do you need? Written reports every day, nothing complicated, but I want to know who was around the boys, whether anything happened, and whether either one seemed upset. That's fair, Melissa said. No one helps Eli with a change or an accident unless he agrees to that person helping. If he asks for somebody else, you find somebody else. Eli looked up. What if it's an emergency? Then the adult explains what they need to do and still treats you with respect. And no jokes. No jokes about accidents, pull-ups, crying, or needing help. Noah raised his hand. What about jokes I make? Aaron looked at him. You especially need to stop. Noah lowered his hand. Okay. Aaron turned back to Jackie. You are not fired because you admitted what happened and agreed to take responsibility, but trust has to be rebuilt. I know. And understand something else. You work for me, but your first responsibility is the safety of my sons. If I ever do something that hurts them, you speak up about me too. Jackie stared at him. You mean that? Yes. What if you get angry? I probably will, but you still say something. Kathleen placed a hand on Aaron's shoulder. That is what responsible parenting looks like. Aaron looked at Eli. I don't want anybody in this family protected from consequences because they help me. Even Grandma and Grandpa, Eli asked. Even them. Bob came out carrying a box. What did I do? Nothing, Noah said. Dad is explaining that we can report you. Bob looked at Aaron. Should I be worried? Only if you do something wrong. I ate one of Eli's birthday cupcakes. Eli's eyes widened. You did what? Bob pointed toward the house. I think I hear your grandmother calling me. Kathleen crossed her arms. I didn't say anything. Bob slowly backed toward the door. Eli followed him. That was my chocolate one. As Bob and Eli went inside, Noah hurried after them. Aaron looked at Jackie again. My kids have already lived with too many adults who saw things and stayed quiet. That ends now. It ends now. Aaron held out his hand. Jackie took it. You still have your job, but this is your last chance to stay silent. You won't have to give me another one. Good, my sons need adults who will protect them even when I'm asleep, overwhelmed, or not in the room. Melissa looked toward the house, where Eli could be heard demanding that Bob replace the cupcake. I think Grandpa Bob might need protection now. Aaron listened to Eli yelling. No, he stole the wrong kid's chocolate cupcake, he's on his own. Kathleen opened the front door. Aaron, Dan, your new nurse is here. A man stood behind her holding a medical bag and a folder. Aaron glanced at the boxes and packed van. Sorry, my life turned upside down very fast. Dan stepped inside. You don't have to apologize, I was told this was an emergency placement. That's one way to say it. Dan walked closer but stopped a few feet away. My name is Dan Miller. I'm the overnight nurse assigned through your care agency. Before I touch you, your wheelchair, your medication, or any equipment, I'll explain what I'm doing and ask permission. Aaron studied him. You read my file. Yes, spinal muscular atrophy type 2. You need assistance with transfers, personal care, positioning, medication, and some daily tasks. And you completed the background check. Dan held out the folder. State check, federal check, nursing license verification, and child safety clearance. Your attorney requested copies of everything. Aaron handed the folder to Jackie. Look through it. Dan nodded. That's fine. You're not offended. No, you have children in the home, you should check. Aaron looked toward Noah and Eli. Everyone who comes near my kids gets checked now. Understood. Noah walked into the room. Who is he? This is Dan, he's helping with my care tonight. Noah looked Dan up and down. Are you allowed around kids? Aaron closed his eyes. Noah. Dan answered calmly. Yes, your dad has the paperwork to prove it. Noah nodded. Okay. Eli appeared behind him holding half a cupcake. Grandpa gave it back. Bob called from the kitchen. I replaced it, I did not give it back. Eli looked at Dan. Are you another caregiver? For your dad. Only dad. Yes, I'm not your nanny, and I won't help you with anything unless your dad and you both agree. Eli moved closer to Aaron. What if I need help? Then you can ask Jackie, Melissa, your grandparents, or your dad. If there is an emergency, I'll help keep you safe, but I'll explain everything first. Aaron watched Eli's reaction. Eli nodded. That's a good answer. Dan smiled. I'm glad you approve. Aaron looked at the folder. I need to be honest, the last two people who handled my care hid serious information from me. I was told there was a breakdown in trust. They also spoke to my son in ways they shouldn't have. Then you need clear boundaries. I do. Aaron pointed toward the boys. My sons are not part of my care plan. They do not touch my medicine, help with transfers, assist with personal care, or take responsibility for me. I understand. If you ever ask them to help with any of that, you're gone. I won't. And you don't speak to Eli about accidents, crying, or medical needs unless he asks. Dan nodded. Understood. Yeah. If you see anyone mistreat either child, you tell me immediately. You don't decide I'm too overwhelmed to hear it. I'll document and report it immediately. Jackie finished reviewing the folder. Everything looks current. Herson's office signed the clearance page. Aaron released a slow breath. Kathleen placed a hand on his shoulder. You can relax a little. Not yet. Dan pulled a chair closer but did not sit until Aaron nodded. What would make tonight easier? My hospital bed and lift are still at the other house. Your parents rented a portable lift. I checked it before coming inside. The downstairs bed is too high. We can adjust it or use the temporary medical bed being delivered later. Aaron stared. You already checked all of that. That's my job. Scott used to say the same thing. Aaron looked away. Dan noticed. I know trust won't happen tonight. You don't have to trust me yet. You only need to tell me what you need and what you don't want. Aaron looked back. I don't want my kids seeing my personal care. Then we closed the door. I don't want anyone joking about my body. I won't. I need you to tell me before moving my legs. My hips hurt if they twist. Understood. And I might change my mind after I say yes. Then we stop. Aaron's shoulders lowered slightly. Okay. Eli sat on the arm of the couch. Dad, are you scared of him? Aaron considered it. I'm scared of trusting the wrong person again. Dan did not appear offended. That makes sense. Noah sat beside Eli. What happens if Dad doesn't like you? Then he can request somebody else. You won't get mad. No. Aaron looked at Dan. The boys ask a lot of questions. That's better than being afraid to ask any. Eli looked down at his cupcake. Someone told me I cried too much. Crying is not a problem I'm here to correct. He said I was too old. You're never too old to have feelings. Aaron watched Eli closely. Eli took another bite. You can stay tonight. Aaron raised an eyebrow. I thought I was the one hearing him. I'm helping. No, you're eating a cupcake. Dan laughed softly. That's an important job too. Dan pointed toward the stack of chessboards, clocks, and books. Why is there so much chess stuff here? Aaron looked at the pile. Both of my kids are good at chess. Noah walked in. I'm rated 1432. Aaron nodded. Noah is very good. Eli followed behind him. And me. Eli is my youngest. He learns extremely fast. He's better than Noah and probably most of the club combined. Noah stopped. Dad. What? It's true. You didn't have to say it like that. Eli sat beside the chess equipment. I beat him. Once, Noah said. More than once. You studied for 5 hours after I almost beat you. Eli glared. You promised not to tell everybody that. You already told Caleb to play before Linda came. The whole day has been strange. Aaron looked back at Dan. Eli is rated over 2,000. If you combined Noah's ability with most of the kids at their chess club, Eli would probably still beat them. Noah crossed his arms. Again, Dad, I'm standing right here. I said you were good. You followed it with a speech about how Eli is better. Dan tried not to laugh. So chess is serious in this family. Very serious. Noah was the chess kid first. Then Eli came here and learned faster than anyone expected. Eli opened a chess box. I already knew how to play before I came here. You knew the rules, Noah said. I helped you with openings. And then I learned the openings better than you. Noah stared at him. This is why nobody likes gifted kids. You like me. Sometimes. Aaron pointed toward them. See, normal brothers. Dan sat near the table. Do you play? Aaron laughed. No, they both destroy me. That isn't true, Noah said. You don't play enough for us to destroy you. The last time I played Eli, I lost in 11 moves. Eli corrected him. 10. I thought it was 11. You moved your queen where my bishop could take it. That was move 10. Aaron shook his head. This is what I live with. Dan looked at Eli. How long have you been playing seriously? A few weeks. Dan stared. A few weeks. Noah dropped into a chair. Now you understand why I'm annoyed. Aaron smiled. Eli learns almost anything quickly. Chess, schoolwork, tutoring. He's 9 and already doing high school level work. That's a lot for a 9-year-old. It is. We're trying to remind him he doesn't have to perform all the time. Eli stared at the pieces. I like learning. I know, but you're also allowed to rest. Noah picked up a chess clock. And he needs to learn how to lose. I know how to lose. You studied for 5 hours after Caleb beat you. Eli pointed toward the hallway. Go away. Noah smiled. I live here too. Aaron looked at Dan. This is probably what the house will sound like most days. It sounds better than silence. That answer made Aaron pause. Then Eli pushed the white pieces toward Dan. You can play first. Dan raised his hands. I should warn you, I haven't played since I was a kid. That's okay, I'll go easy on you. Noah laughed. He says that right before he destroys somebody. Aaron leaned back. Dan, you might want to reconsider. Dan moved a pawn. I'll take my chances. Eli immediately responded. 6 moves later, Eli moved his queen. Checkmate. Dan stared at the board. Already. Eli nodded. You moved the knight too early. Noah leaned over. I told you not to move it. You weren't supposed to help, Eli said. I warned him after he was already losing. Dan looked at Aaron. You said both boys were good. You didn't say your youngest was going to destroy me in 6 moves. I tried to warn you. Eli stood and looked down at his clothes. His expression changed. Can you see my pull-up? Aaron looked toward him. No, why? I think I leaked. I need to change. Eli pulled the bottom of his shirt down. Aaron kept his voice calm. That's okay, your supplies should be with the medical boxes. Dan started to stand but stopped himself. Who would you like to help you, Eli? Eli looked around. Jackie. Jackie stepped forward. I'm here. Aaron nodded. Take him to the downstairs bathroom. His clothes and supplies should be in the blue bag. Jackie held out her hand but waited for Eli to take it. Come on, we'll get you comfortable. Eli glanced at Dan. You're not coming. No, you asked for Jackie. Eli nodded and followed her. Noah began resetting the board. Dan turned toward Aaron. Do you need anything? Aaron looked at the medical supplies. My supplies and Eli are all mixed together. We can separate and label them tonight. Aaron lowered his voice. I need a change too. Dan nodded without reacting. Okay, we can do that privately whenever you're ready. I haven't had one since breakfast. Dan's expression became concerned but his voice stayed calm. That's a long time, are you uncomfortable? Yes. Why didn't you say something sooner? Aaron stared at his hands. After I heard the accusations in court, I didn't want Scott or Rick touching me. Dan pulled his chair closer. That makes sense. I knew I needed help but I couldn't let them near me. You don't have to explain or apologize. I kept thinking about every time they changed me, transferred me, or helped me shower. I kept wondering what else they were hiding. You had your trust broken. It's understandable that you didn't feel safe receiving personal care from them. Aaron glanced toward the hallway. I don't want the boys seeing anything. They won't. We'll close and lock the bedroom door. I'll explain each step and you can stop me at any point. What if I panic? We stop. What if I tell you not to touch me after we start? We stop. What if the transfer takes too long? It takes as long as it takes. Aaron released a shaky breath. Scott used to get annoyed when my body tightened. I won't. He would say I was making it harder. Muscle tightness is not something you're doing to inconvenience anyone. Aaron looked toward the bathroom. That's almost the same thing he told Eli. Then neither of you should ever hear it again. Melissa walked over. I can keep Noah occupied while Dan helps you. Noah looked up. I don't need to be occupied. You also don't need to know every detail of my personal care. I wasn't asking. You were listening. Noah picked up a pawn. I can play chess with Grandpa. Bob called from the kitchen. I thought you were grounded from chess. Noah sighed. Why does everybody remember that? Because your father reminds us every 12 minutes. Aaron pointed toward the living room. You can watch television with Grandpa, no chess. Noah crossed his arms. Fine. Dan moved toward the portable lift. Before we start, I need to inspect the equipment and make sure the sling is the correct size. Aaron nodded. Do that first. A few minutes later, Jackie returned with Eli. He wore clean pajamas and held his wet clothes in a tied bag. All done, Jackie said. Eli walked toward Aaron. Are you getting changed too? Yes. Because our stuff got mixed together. That's part of it. Eli looked at Dan. Are you helping him? If your dad still wants me to. Aaron nodded. I do. Eli stood quietly. Are you scared? A little. Because of Scott and Rick. Aaron did not lie. Yes. Eli placed his hand on Aaron's arm. You told me needing help isn't bad. I know. And you said we can choose who helps us. You remembered that. You said it 5 minutes ago. Aaron smiled weakly. You're right. Eli leaned closer and hugged him. Then choose Dan, his chess is bad but he seems okay. Dan laughed. That may be the most honest recommendation I've ever received. Aaron hugged Eli back. Go with Noah and Grandpa, I'll come out when I'm finished. Eli hesitated. You promise? I promise. After the boys left, Dan closed the bedroom door. Are you ready? Aaron took a slow breath. Yes, but tell me before you touch me. I will. Dan explained every part of the transfer before beginning. When Aaron's body tightened, Dan stopped instead of rushing. You're in control, tell me when you're ready to continue. Aaron closed his eyes and breathed slowly. For the first time since the courtroom, he allowed somebody to help him without feeling trapped. Once the change was finished, Dan positioned Aaron comfortably in the temporary medical bed. He adjusted the pillows beneath Aaron's legs and placed the call button within reach. Aaron stared at the ceiling. I was supposed to trust 2 pedophiles to help me take care of my kids. Dan paused while picking up a clean diaper from the supply bag. They never told you about their records. No. Not before Noah moved in. No. Not before Eli came. Aaron's voice cracked. They let me believe they were safe. I'm sorry. They knew everything Linda did to me, they knew I had trouble trusting people. They sat beside me in court and helped me fight for custody while hiding that they weren't even supposed to be around children. You couldn't make an informed decision because they withheld the information. Aaron turned his head. The judge made it sound like I knowingly brought dangerous people around my sons. But you didn't know. I should have checked. They were responsible for disclosing it. The agencies employing them were responsible for checking too. Aaron shook his head. I let them help Eli after accidents. His breathing became unsteady. Scott told him he was too old to cry, he told him I was disabled and Eli was. He made my son feel like his needs were a burden because I already needed too much help. Did Eli tell you whether anything else happened? Not yet, Herson said a trained professional should speak with both boys. That's the right approach. What if they find out something did happen? Then you support your sons and let the professionals handle the investigation. Aaron's eyes filled. I don't know if I can hear it. You will hear whatever your children need to tell you. What if I fall apart? Then you fall apart privately afterward. In front of them, you remind them it wasn't their fault. That's what I keep telling Eli. Then remember it applies to you too. A quiet knock came from the door. Dad, Eli called. Aaron looked at Dan. I'm covered. Yes, fully dressed and covered. Aaron raised his voice. Come in. Eli stepped inside with Noah behind him. Are you okay? Eli asked. I'm tired. Were you crying? A little. Because of Scott and Rick. Aaron nodded. Eli looked down. Scott said you couldn't live without him. Aaron's expression changed. When did he say that? When you were asleep. Dan remained quiet. What exactly did he tell you? He said you needed him more than you needed anybody else. He said if people made trouble for him, you would always choose him because nobody else would do your care. Aaron's face went pale. Noah moved into the room. He told me something like that too. Aaron looked toward him. What did he tell you? He said Dad couldn't take care of us without him and Rick. He said we needed to listen because they were the reason we could stay together. Aaron closed his eyes. Neither of you should have been told that. I thought it was true, Eli whispered. It was. But you do need help. Yes, I need help. That doesn't mean one person owns me or controls our family. Dan nodded. Aaron can receive care from many qualified people. No caregiver is irreplaceable. Eli looked at him. Even you. Even me, if your dad feels unsafe with me, he can request another nurse. Aaron reached for Eli's hand. Scott wanted us to believe we couldn't survive without him. That made it easier for him to hide things. Noah looked angry. So he brainwashed us. I don't know what word to use yet, but he tried to make all of us dependent on him. Eli's eyes filled. Did he only help us because he wanted something? I don't know. Aaron pulled him closer. But whatever his reasons were, none of this was your fault. Eli rested his head against Aaron's chest. I didn't tell you because I thought he would stop helping. I know. Noah sat on the other side of the bed. I didn't tell you because I thought you already knew. Aaron looked at both boys. You never have to protect an adult's job, reputation, or feelings. Your safety comes first. What about your care? Eli asked. I'll find somebody else. What if the new person leaves? Then we find another. And another. As many as it takes. Dan stood. I'm going to give you three some privacy. The call button is beside your hand. Aaron nodded. Thank you. Dan paused at the door. For what it's worth, Aaron needing caregivers did not cause this. Their dishonesty did. After he left, Aaron held both boys. I'm sorry I brought you into that house. Noah shook his head. You didn't know. I should have. Eli lifted his head. You told me not to blame myself for things adults hid from me. Aaron gave a tearful smile. You're going to keep using my own words against me, aren't you? Yes. Noah nodded. He does that a lot. Aaron kissed both boys. Fine, none of us is taking responsibility for Scott and Rick's choices. The next morning, Herson arrived with a woman carrying a folder and a recording device. Aaron sat at the kitchen table while Dan organized his medication. Noah and Eli were in the living room with Jackie and Melissa. Herson pulled out a chair. Aaron, the questions we need to ask today may be difficult. I need you to remain calm. Aaron looked toward the boys. I'm trying. We don't want to ask questions like this, but in a case involving adults prohibited from being around children, we have to. Aaron nodded slowly. I get it. The woman placed her folder on the table. My name is Dr. Rivera. I specialize in interviewing children when there are concerns about their safety. Aaron looked at her. Are you going to ask them whether Scott or Rick touched them? I'm going to let each child tell me about his experiences in his own words. I won't assume something happened and I won't suggest answers. Can I be in the room? No. Aaron's expression tightened. Why not? Children sometimes change their answers because they're worried about upsetting a parent. They may also try to protect you if they see you becoming emotional. I don't want them alone with another stranger. You may introduce me, show them where the interview will happen, and remain nearby. The door will not be locked. Aaron looked at Herson. Is this required? If we want the court to understand what happened, it is necessary. It also protects the boys from being questioned repeatedly. Aaron looked back toward the living room. What are you going to ask? I'll begin with ordinary questions about school, family, and routine. Then I may ask who helped with bathing, dressing, bedtime, or accidents. Aaron's jaw tightened. And then, I may ask whether anyone made them feel frightened, uncomfortable, ashamed, or confused. I may ask about rules involving privacy and whether anyone asked them to keep secrets. Aaron closed his eyes. Herson placed a hand on the table. This is the part where I need you to stay calm. I am calm. You're gripping the side of your chair. Aaron released his hand. I let those men help raise my kids. You did not know about their histories. I still let it happen. Dr. Rivera spoke gently. Your reaction after learning the truth matters. You removed the children immediately, requested safe housing, and agreed to an independent interview. Aaron looked at her. What happens if one of them says something happened? We report it, arrange medical or therapeutic support, and make sure the child understands he is not responsible. And if they say nothing happened? That matters too, but the statements about shamming Eli controlling the family and telling the children you could not survive without them are still serious. Aaron looked toward Herson. Could Scott and Rick have been lying about why they weren't allowed around children? That is possible. I'm obtaining certified records. Until we review them, we should not assume the judge's description was complete. They admitted it. They admitted there was a restriction and that they hid it. We still need the exact charges, outcomes, and conditions. I don't care about their explanation. You do not have to forgive them or allow contact, but the court must work with verified facts. Aaron took a slow breath. I understand. Dr. Rivera looked toward the living room. Before I speak with the boys, I need you not to question them yourself. I already asked Eli how often Scott spoke to him like that. That's understandable, but from this point forward, avoid asking for details. Tell them they can speak to you, but don't lead them. What does that mean? Don't ask, did Scott touch you? Instead say, you can tell me anything you want me to know. Aaron nodded. And if they tell me something? Listen, don't interrupt, don't ask them to prove it or repeat it several times. Tell them they did the right thing by speaking. What if I start crying? Crying is not wrong, but try not to react in a way that makes them feel responsible for taking care of you. Aaron's eyes filled. That's exactly what Linda accused me of doing. This has nothing to do with Linda's accusation, Herson said. This is about making sure the boys feel safe enough to speak without managing your emotions. Aaron wiped his face. I don't want them taking care of me. We know. Herson lowered his voice. There is another difficult question. Did Scott or Rick ever control when you could speak privately with Noah or Eli? Aaron thought. Scott would sometimes tell the boys I was too tired. Where are you? Sometimes, but he made the decision before asking me. Did he ever prevent either child from entering your room? Aaron's face changed. Yes. When? After Eli had accidents, Scott would say I needed sleep and that he would handle it. Dr. Rivera wrote in her notes. Did Eli ask for you? Aaron swallowed. Yes. And Scott still kept him out. Yes. That needs to be documented, Herson said. Aaron covered his mouth. I heard Eli crying once. Scott told me he was throwing a tantrum and that going to him would reward the behavior. What did you do? Dr. Rivera asked. I told Scott to bring him to me. Did he? Eventually. What condition was Eli in? Aaron's breathing became uneven. He had been cleaned and changed, but his face was red from crying. He wouldn't look at Scott. Herson glanced toward Dr. Rivera. Aaron shook his head. I thought Scott was helping me set boundaries. You relied on information he gave you. I should have gone to Eli myself. You physically could not get out of bed without assistance, Dan said from across the kitchen. Everyone turned. That dependence gave Scott control over who could reach Aaron and when Aaron could reach the children. Aaron stared down at his medication. He knew I couldn't follow him. Dr. Rivera closed her folder. That is important context. I would like to speak with Noah first. Aaron called toward the living room. Noah, can you come here? Noah entered with his arms crossed. Am I in trouble? No, this is Dr. Rivera. She wants to talk to you about living with Scott and Rick. Noah looked at the stranger. Dad isn't coming. I'll be right outside. I don't want you worrying about my feelings. You can tell her the truth even if you think it might hurt me. Do I have to talk? You can take breaks, Dr. Rivera said. You can say you don't understand and you can correct me. Noah looked back at Aaron. You won't be mad. Never. What if I say something you don't like? You still tell the truth. Noah slowly nodded. Before entering the guest room, he turned around.
Dad. Yes.
I didn't keep secrets because I wanted to protect them. Aaron's heart dropped. Then why did you? Noah looked toward the floor. I wanted to protect you. Aaron closed his eyes. You never have to do that again. Inside the guest room, Dr. Rivera sat across from Noah. You said you kept quiet because you wanted to protect your dad. Tell me what you remember. Noah twisted his sleeve around his fingers. Way before Eli came to live with us, Scott or Rick would give me a cup of water before bed. Who usually brought it? I don't remember, sometimes Scott, sometimes Rick. What made the water stand out? It tasted like medicine. What happened after you drank it? I got really sleepy. Do you normally become sleepy after drinking water? No. What do you remember after falling asleep? Noah looked toward the closed door. Not much, but when I woke up in the morning, I was in pain. Dr. Rivera kept her voice calm. Tell me what you mean by pain. Noah quietly explained. Dr. Rivera listened without interrupting. Did anyone tell you why you were hurting? Number Scott said I probably slept wrong. Did this happen once or more than once? I don't know, a lot of mornings felt the same. What made you think about it today? We stayed here at Grandma and Grandpa's house last night. Nobody gave me water before bed and I didn't have any pain when I woke up. Did you tell anyone before today? No. Why not? I thought it was normal. Dr. Rivera placed her pen down. Noah, you did the right thing by telling me. You are not in trouble and nothing that happened while you were asleep would be your fault. Noah's eyes filled. Are you going to tell Dad? I need to tell the adults responsible for keeping you safe, but we can decide together how. He's going to think he failed again. Your dad's feelings are not your responsibility. But he already thinks everything is his fault. That is something the adults will help him with. Your responsibility is to tell the truth. Noah wiped his face. Was there medicine in the water? I don't know, a doctor and investigators will need to look into that. I'm not going to guess. Do I have to go to the hospital? You may need a medical examination. The doctor should explain everything and you can ask for a break. Will Dad be there? We can ask that he remain nearby. Dr. Rivera stopped the interview rather than pushing him further. She opened the door and asked Jackie to sit with him. Then she stepped into the kitchen. Aaron immediately looked at her. What did he say? Aaron, before I tell you, remember what we discussed. Noah needs you to remain calm. Is he hurt? He reported that before Eli came to the home, Scott or Rick sometimes gave him water before bed that tasted like medicine. He said it made him unusually sleepy. Aaron's face drained of color. Dr. Rivera continued. He also reported waking with unexplained pain on multiple mornings. He noticed that after spending last night here without being given the water, he woke without that pain. Aaron stared. No. Herson moved closer. Aaron breathes. No, they didn't. We do not yet know exactly what occurred. His statement is concerning and must be reported and medically evaluated, but we should not draw conclusions before the investigation. Aaron tried to move toward the guest room. I need to see him. Dan placed himself beside the wheelchair without blocking him. You can see him, but take one breath first. My son said they gave him something. I know, Noah is watching how the adults react. Let him see that you believe him and that he is safe. Aaron's breathing became rapid. Herson crouched beside him. You cannot question him. Do not ask which man did it, how often, or why he waited. Tell him he did the right thing. Aaron covered his mouth and sobbed. I was asleep in the same house. This is not the moment to blame yourself. I let them put him to bed. You did not know. They used my disability to keep me away from my own kid. We will investigate that. Right now, Noah needs his father. Aaron wiped his face. Can I go in? Dr. Rivera nodded. Aaron entered the guest room. Noah sat beside Jackie with his knees pulled against his chest. Dad, I'm sorry. Aaron's face crumpled. You have nothing to be sorry for. I should have told you. No, you told somebody when you understood something might have been wrong. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. Are you mad? I'm angry at the adults who made you feel unsafe. I am not angry at you. I thought you would lose Scott and Rick if I said anything. I already lost them because of what they chose to hide. That is not your fault. Noah started crying. What was in the water? I don't know. We're going to let doctors and investigators find out what they can. I don't want anybody touching me. Aaron moved closer but did not reach for him. Then nobody touches you without explaining why and getting your permission. Unless there is an immediate medical emergency. Do I have to go alone? No, I'll stay as close as they allow. Noah leaned forward and wrapped his arms around Aaron. You believe me,
Yes.
even though I don't remember everything. You do not have to remember everything for me to believe that you woke up hurting and afraid. Dr. Rivera contacted the investigation team and a pediatric specialist. After Noah's interview, she prepared to speak with Eli. Aaron rolled closer to his youngest son. You can stop whenever you want. You can tell her you don't remember and you don't have to protect me. Eli nodded. Are you going to be outside? The whole time. Eli hugged him. I trust you, Dad. I trust you too. Inside the guest room, Dr. Rivera sat across from Eli. We can talk about anything you want, you're not in trouble. Eli placed his black bag on his lap. I wear pull-ups. Okay. Sometimes I have accidents and sometimes I need help getting clean. Who do you usually ask for help? My dad. I ask him to be in the room because I trust him. What happens when your dad is there? He talks to me and makes sure the other person tells me what they're doing. Was there ever a time your dad wasn't there? Eli became quiet. One night I had an accident and needed help. Dad was asleep. What happened next? Rick came in. Did you ask Rick to help? I asked for Dad. What did Rick say? He said Dad needed to sleep, then he changed me without Dad in the room. Dr. Rivera did not interrupt. After that, Rick gave me something and a cup of water. What did the water taste like? Funny, like medicine. What happened after you drank it? I got really tired. Do you remember falling asleep? Eli nodded. When I woke up, I was hurting. Dr. Rivera placed her pen down. Eli, thank you for telling me you did nothing wrong. Eli looked toward the door. Is Dad going to be mad? Not at you. I should have yelled louder. You were a child asking an adult for help. What happened was never your responsibility. I told him I wanted Dad. I believe you. Eli began crying. I thought Dad would be mad because I had another accident. Has your dad ever become angry at you for having one? No. Then why did you think that? Rick said Dad already had too much to deal with. Would you like to stop? Eli nodded.
Yes.
That's okay, we're stopping. Dr. Rivera stepped into the kitchen. Aaron immediately looked at her. What did he say? Aaron, do not question Eli or ask him to repeat anything. Tell me. Eli said that one night after an accident, Rick changed him even though Eli asked for you to be present. Aaron's face tightened. He asked for me.
Yes.
She continued carefully. He also reported being given something and water that tasted like medicine. He said he became very sleepy and woke later with pain. Aaron stopped breathing. Herson moved beside him. Aaron, stay with us. Both of them, Aaron whispered, both of my sons said the water tasted like medicine. The similarities are extremely concerning, but investigators must document and evaluate them independently. Aaron began sobbing. I was sleeping down the hall. Dan crouched beside him. You depended on those men to help you move. That does not make their choices your fault. They knew I couldn't get out of bed. Herson's expression hardened. They may have deliberately used Aaron's physical dependence to isolate the children. That possibility needs to be investigated, Dr. Rivera said. Right now, both boys need urgent specialized medical care and protection. Aaron rolled into the guest room. Eli sat beside Melissa, crying into his black bag. Eli. Eli looked up. I'm sorry. No, you never apologize for telling the truth. I asked for you. I know. He wouldn't wake you up. Aaron held out his arms. Can I hug you? Eli nodded and moved into his embrace. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. You asked for me. An adult ignored you. That was not your fault. I drank the water. You trusted an adult who was supposed to keep you safe. I should have known it wasn't water. You were 9 years old. You were tired and scared. You were not responsible for figuring out whether an adult was lying. Noah appeared in the doorway with Jackie. He looked at Eli. Did he get the water too? Dr. Rivera stepped in. Noah, you and Eli should not discuss the details of your interviews right now. Noah's eyes filled. But I want him to know I believe him. You can tell him that. Noah sat beside his brother. I believe you. Eli leaned toward him. I believe you too. Aaron pulled both boys against him. Herson entered holding his phone. I notified the court, Child Protective Services, and law enforcement. I'm requesting immediate protective orders and preservation of all medical records, medications, cameras, phones, and anything left in Scott and Rick's house. Have them search the house, Aaron said. They will need a warrant, but the independent statements give investigators serious grounds. Aaron looked at Dr. Rivera. What happens at the hospital? A specialized pediatric team will speak with each child separately and explain every step. The examination should be limited to what is medically necessary. Each boy can request breaks. No one forces them to talk. No. No one touches them without explaining. Correct, except in an immediate life-threatening emergency. Aaron kissed both boys' heads. You heard her. You are in control of your bodies. Eli looked up. Will you come?
Yes.
And dance. If you want him there. I want him to help you so you can stay with us. Dan spoke from the doorway. That's what I'll do. Aaron looked at Herson. And Scott and Rick. The police will handle them. You do not call or confront them. I want them to know I believe my kids. They will learn that through the court. Aaron wanted to argue, but his sons needed him beside them. Okay, I won't contact them. Before they left, Aaron looked toward Dr. Rivera. I need to speak with you privately. She nodded. Of course. Herson followed them into the kitchen. Kathleen closed the door between the kitchen and living room. Dr. Rivera sat across from Aaron. What do you need to tell me? Aaron stared at his hands. I drank that water too. Her expression became serious. Tell me what you remember. When Scott or Rick gave me my night medication, they always brought a cup of water. Sometimes it tasted strange, but I thought it was because of my pills. How did you feel afterward? Tired, really tired. Was that different from how your prescribed medication normally made you feel? Sometimes, there were nights when I could barely keep my eyes open before they finished putting me in bed. Did you ever lose parts of the night or wake confused? Yes, I thought it was my medication or disability. Did you wake with unexplained pain? No, not like the boys. Aaron's face changed as the meaning settled in. But I was drugged like they were. We do not know that yet. The similar taste and unusual sleepiness are concerning, but testing is needed. Aaron's breathing became faster. They drugged me so I couldn't hear my kids. We don't know their exact intention, Herson said. They knew I couldn't get out of bed without them. If they made sure I stayed asleep, I couldn't call for Noah or Eli. I couldn't stop anything. Aaron, Dan said softly, look at me. Aaron shook his head. Fuck me. His voice echoed through the kitchen. Aaron began sobbing. Fuck me, I was right there. I was in the same house and they made sure I couldn't wake up. Dan crouched beside him. Breathe with me. I don't want to breathe. You need to stay conscious and safe. Aaron struck the armrest. They were using my body against my kids. No one is blaming you. I drank whatever they gave me. You believed it was water being given with your prescribed medication, Dr. Rivera said. You had no reason to expect your caregivers were giving you something else. I should have noticed the taste. You did notice, Dan replied. You interpreted it based on the information you had. Aaron covered his face. I thought it was my pills. That was a reasonable assumption. Aaron looked toward the closed door. Noah said he was trying to protect me. Eli asked for me and I didn't wake up. What kind of father sleeps through his kids needing him? A father who may have been deliberately prevented from waking, Herson said. Aaron sobbed harder. You need your own medical evaluation, Dr. Rivera said.
For what?
Possible non-consensual medication or poisoning. Doctors need a complete list of your prescriptions and symptoms. It's probably too late to find anything. Some substances may no longer be detectable, but documentation still matters. Herson took out his phone. I'll tell investigators that Aaron may also be a victim. They need to preserve every bottle, cup, medication container, and recording. Aaron shook his head. I don't care about me. You need to care about yourself because your children need you alive and stable, Dr. Rivera said firmly. Dan looked at the medications brought from the house. After hearing this, I don't want you taking anything from an already opened container until the hospital pharmacy verifies it. Aaron stared at the bottles. Those are all I have. The hospital can confirm your prescriptions and provide safe replacements. A soft knock came from the other side of the door. Dad, Eli called, are you okay? Kathleen opened it slightly. Eli stood with Noah behind him. We heard you yell, Noah said. Aaron took a shaky breath. I remembered something that upset me. About the water, Noah asked. Dr. Rivera stepped in. Your dad remembered something the doctors need to check. He is safe right now. Eli looked frightened. Did they hurt Dad too? We don't know yet, Aaron said. That's why I'm going to be checked. Noah watched him. Are you falling apart? A little, but Dan, Herson, Dr. Rivera, Grandma, and Grandpa are helping me. You don't have to. Eli walked.